What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about DogeCoin today. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. DOGE sitting here at about 19.6 cents on this, the third day of August. We have 20 hours, 59 minutes left in the week, 20 hours, 59 minutes left in the day. Very bearish week, down about 18.5%. What's the average altcoin down, by the way? Because we were down 9% yesterday, I want to say. Being down like double that, that's a lot, man. The average altcoin's down about 13.5%, so you're down a little bit more, but you pump more than the average altcoin too, so that you dump more. It's just kind of how it happens. It's not ideal that you got above the nipple here on this W pattern that you failed, but man, retrospectively, like hindsight is 2020, right? All these W patterns across the board, it makes sense that a good bit of them would be busted, right? It makes sense because nothing's ever that easy. And whenever the whole market's printing something that gets people excited, just to tarnish those excitements. I very much do believe that Dogecoin's going to make a recovery from here. So what? You've busted your W pattern. I think that you will form a higher low. You will form a higher high. It's completely possible and even reasonable to assume that the low that you formed here today, was it today or yesterday? I'm sorry, actually. Was it today? It was today at about 18.8 cents. That's the low. And you don't have to go lower. It's a nice double bottom at this low. Though I wouldn't call that a double bottom, but you're just finding support right there, right? This isn't a double bottom. It was on the way up, right? Like a double bottom, that's closer to a double bottom than this actually is. But I get what you're saying if you call it a double bottom, right? Double tap for support there. Prior support here, prior resistance here, support right here as well. You know, it's a good look. It's a good area to find support. You're moving down without not without volume, but with less volume, right? Moved up with a lot of volume, moved down with less volume. That's always a good sign. And then if we're looking at this here from a relative low to a relative high, you basically skimmed your golden ratio. Isn't that something? Isn't that nice? Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but the most bullish thing you could do is get near your golden ratio without actually hitting it. That's the most bullish thing you could do. So if today, in the next 21 hours, we got a lot of time left, if today can close green like this and show some positive results, primarily you want to get above, it doesn't have to happen today, but at some point you want to get above 22 cents. That'll validate this as a low. You get above 20.2 cents, that's nice, but 22 cents getting above there on a daily closing basis would really help to validate the idea that this is the low and that you are, in fact, front-running this golden ratio area. What do I mean by front-running? I mean everybody and their mom knows about the Fibonacci retracement tool, knows about the golden ratio. There's algorithms, there's pro traders, there's amateur traders who are able to, monkeys can do it, man, you know, able to identify this area, the golden ratio, okay, specifically this line here. Whenever you have that much attention on something, and you do have a lot of attention on this coin because it is the 9th ranked crypto, right? It's the highest top meme coin in the space. Elon Musk talks about it all the time, right? When you have something like this, it's highly anticipated to grow. People are going to have their eyes on the most relative low to high retracement for an area to buy, right? Bitcoin finds its low, whatever, you know, it's very likely that the low is in right there. But if we go lower, understand 18.6 cents to 17.7 cents, which we're at 19.5 cents now, so that's a whole world away, isn't it? But it's really not that far. I'm being sarcastic there. That would be your area for support. So if that's not your low, you're very near your low, but I think that you have found your low indeed. And we're going to look at the 1 hour time frame and the 4 hour time frame to help validate that. So let's do that now. 1 hour time frame here. We'll see if it helps validate it. Maybe it'll invalidate it. I mean, as you're moving down, you're clearly getting lower lows and volume's dying off. That's a good thing. If we were moving up and volume was dying off, that would be a bad thing. In fact, I bet we have an example of that. Let's go back in time and see. Let's go all the way back here. Oh, look at that. Wouldn't you know it? You're moving up here, volume's dying off, and that was a bad thing, yes. Volume starts to pick up as you're going down, dies off again, you find a relative low, right? Dies off again, you find a relative low, and you start to move up, right? Not a whole lot of volume comes into the upside, so lower you go. And as we're coming down here, volume's dying off. Does that mean that this is the low? No, but it's at least a low, and we likely do recover to some degree. I would think at least 21 cents to 22 cents. Remember, 22 cents is that area we need to get, not just get above, but close above on the daily time frame. We close above 22 cents, and we're golden, man. We're home free. Home free to what? We're going to find out, don't you worry, but just hold on to your whatevers. Looking at the RSI, it's very bearish, the RSI. you do have this nice higher low kind of scheme here, but you've got lower highs as well. Consolidation phase, it looks like you've broken out of it. I like that you're above the 50. I don't like that you have this overall kind of prevailing downward slopedness, right? It's a very bearish 1 hour RSI, but in the most bearish times, you turn things around and you start to get bullish, but it's definitely bearish. You need to do some work before you're ready to go. With that 1 hour RSI in mind, just keep in mind you could move up and then you could move down, get a higher low. Like it doesn't mean that you're off to the races just because you found this low. What I will say is this is DogeCoin, so if there was one coin that just didn't need to kind of configure itself before it really starts to move up, it might be this coin. It really could just blast through the roof. You never know. Today could be a 20% day, 50% day. You never know. Those days will happen. They are coming, but if I had to guess, I would think DogeCoin comes up. We find resistance here. We come up. We find resistance there. You know, stair step our way up. Again, it's not an immediate necessity that we close above 22 cents. It's just that when we do close above 22 cents on a daily basis, that validates this as a low. Today, tomorrow, the next day, next week, whatever. It's not a time sensitive thing. Though I suppose if you are bullish on Dogecoin, you want to see it go to new all-time highs at the targets that we're anticipating, the targets that I'll go over in just a second. You probably want to see it get above 22 cents sooner than later. What's in my throat, man? All I ate was banana bread. The MACD does have bullish divergence. This is actually a really good look on the history or on the oscillators. You got a low here, higher low here, and a higher low there. That's two higher lows kind of in succession there, right? That's double bullish divergence with these lower lows coming in. You do have bullish divergence as well on the histogram. You also have hidden bearish divergence on the histogram. Stochastics are pointed to the upside. I would think that you get into the overbought zone, so that's good. Typically, you go oversold, overbought, oversold, overbought, oversold, overbought. You know, typically that's what happens. So you don't oftentimes turn around at this area, but it does happen sometimes, right? To the bullish effect, to the bearish effect. It does happen sometimes to the bearish effect, right? Especially in very bearish circumstances, which we're hopefully coming out of now because we're dying off in volume. But yeah, the 1 hour overall looks beat up, but there's hope. There's some hope to start moving up. There's bullish signals going on. 4 hour time frame, I think getting the stochastics out of the oversold area and into this band here, into this zone here, will be beneficial. 52 minutes left in this 4 hour time frame. It looks like you mean businessman. I mean, with this, all you got to do is move up just a little bit more, like a fraction of a cent, and you'll be engulfing two of your prior 4 hour candles at the bottom. That's a pretty significant signal right there. 4 hour RSI is in a downtrend. You've got lower lows here. You've got lower highs here, but you're at the base of this trend. Come on up. Maybe you come back down, you form a higher low, you get some bullish divergence. Again, leaving the door open to the idea that you could go lower. But even if you do go lower, it's not going to be by much. You would find some bullish divergence, and then you should have a little W pattern here. This one will prevail, and you will be moving up higher. Okay, 4 hour RSI downtrend, but you're at the area that you'd expect to bounce. Worst case scenario, you reject the lower highs one more time. You come up, find a higher low, and then you break it the next time. Okay, and that's okay. Either way, coming days, coming weeks, good things should be happening. Stochastics, you want to get that out of the oversold zone, which I think if you keep moving up at this pace by the end of the day, absolutely you should be there. And the MACD looks terrible, so we're not going to focus on that too much. It's not that it looks terrible and we should put our heads in the sand. It's just that there's really not much to go off of. It looks bearish. Bearish momentum's dying off. You know, whatever. I got nothing really to run with on that. The MACD it's rather choosy with what it tells you. And right now it's just telling me it's bearish, but of course it's bearish. We know that already, right? It's a lagging indicator. You've gone all the way down to your 2272. Come up to your 1272, find support at your golden ratio, stuff like that, right? We want to inevitably get back above this golden ratio here. So 22 cents is very important, but I think 23 cents also would be very helpful to get above. You know, I would say 22 cents is more important because this is not that significant of a fib range, but you did find support here. Nevertheless, you know, I think getting above the golden ratio here would be vital to pumping even higher. Yes, you have to break higher levels before you get higher. That's essentially what I'm saying. Daily time frame. Now's where we talk about the exciting stuff, okay? Stochastics are oversold, looking to bounce here, right? RSI is at an area that you do like to bounce. You could go lower with that being said, but I think that you will bounce. The MACD is looking like you want to scoop the zero, which a lot of cryptos look like they want to do right now. And if you scoop that, if you find support off of that zero line, you get this to cross up here. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but over the coming week and weeks, you should see a rather rapid recovery. It's a very powerful signal to bounce off the zero line like this on the MACD, if you do, right? You rejected the zero back here. You went a little bit above it, but that's still a rejection. Look at how powerful that was to the downside. I mean, you moved down from January until March from a price of like 40 something cents, 50 cents, all the way down to 13 cents, right? Very powerful. So you're doing that now potentially, but to the opposite effect. We just have to, I say potentially because we just have to move up to validate that, right? That's what we need to do first and foremost. We measured this fib, right? Yeah, that's, you just went above the golden ratio, which is actually more bullish than bearish, okay? I think a very bullish answer to contest the bears here would be to close above this this red time frame. How many red days in a row do you have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is your 7th one on the low. 7 days of down and then up. That's pretty bullish, you guys. 7 days. On that 7th day you bounce. That tends to be how it happens. 7s, 9s, 11s. Let's just see actually here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, that's not normal, but whatever. Talking about the upside. Okay, talking about the upside because we're probably going to move up. When we do move up, you're at about 19.5 cents. When we do move up, and by the way, this is still a beautiful bottom. Okay, it's a little bit busted here. It's not a cup and handle, but it is still a beautiful bottom. And I think that you will see new highs relative to this. High to low. The area that we're first considering is about 69 cents. Okay, 69 cents. The area that we're considering afterwards, or maybe maximum, the maximal consideration would be something of about $1.09. 69 cents to $1.09. That's where the price of Dogecoin is going to go. Okay, you're at 19.5 cents now. When is it going to get there? That's a good question. Dogecoin moves at a very fast pace, you guys, whenever it wants to. We could be there by the end of this month. We could be at 70 cents, $1.09. Maybe we're higher. Maybe we are in the middle somewhere. I doubt that we're lower. I personally doubt that we're lower. I really do think this is the target area, but my personal target area would be like 83 cents to $1.10, something just below or just above $1 itself, okay? And I think we will get around $1, very much like around $1. Maybe even just above $1. I don't know. But something in that area, okay? That would imply the Dogecoin sees a 4.2x to a 5.6x, something like that. And again, as far as when does that happen, it could be by the end of this month. It could be in 2 weeks. It could be sometime in September. It just depends on when you get going here, right? Maybe it takes you 2 weeks just to configure yourself. You get higher highs, higher lows, something like this. And then before you know it, it's September. It's a little bit more than 2 weeks. And then you finally rip, you know. Or we could just V-shaped recovery out of this. Anything happens, man. Anything can happen. That's for damn sure. But all I believe to know is not that when is important. It's more that this area will happen, right? When is not important. Maybe it's the end of August. Maybe it's the end of September. But sometime in that area, we should be around 70 cents to $1.10, probably between about 85 cents and $1.10 there. I've got nothing else for you guys. Beyond that, Dogecoin's going to go a lot higher. My prospects for the end of the cycle are all the way up at about $4. That's where I think we're going to go. It's not just because of this fib, but that's primarily because of the last cycle's fib, right? We've got this high to low, bull market high to bear market low. Every single cycle, fun fact for you here, every single cycle, Dogecoin has gone just above, if not completely obliterated, its 1618, right? This is its third bull cycle, or is it fourth? It's its fourth. 1, 2. This would be its fourth. Its first bull cycle, it only existed for a little bit of time. So third, fourth, however you want to look at it, whatever. It's its fourth major macro all-time high. Okay, so that it will be forming if it does form. And every cycle from a high to a low, you have at least seen your golden ratio. I guess it'd be its third cycle if we're being fair. And you've gone above that. So I would think that we go to $4 or higher by the end of the cycle. When's the end of the cycle? It's anybody's guess. I would think, either by the end of this year in December or likely sometime in early 2026, Q1 or Q2. I've got nothing else for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like button. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care of yourselves. All right. Bye-bye.